before European flags touched West African soil. Before borders were drawn with ink in foreign capitals. Before colonial administration replaced indigenous systems. There was a network, not an empire crowned with gold, not a kingdom surrounded by walls, but a web of influence, discipline, strategic, deliberate. At its center stood Arochukwu. And from Arochukwu emerged the Aro Confederacy. To understand the Aro, we must step into the 17th and 18th centuries. Igbo society was largely decentralized. There was no single monarch ruling all Igboland. Villages governed themselves, authority was shared, decisions were communal. So how do you build influence in a land without a throne? You build networks. You build trust. You build legitimacy. The Aro people understood something fundamental. Power does not always come from force. Sometimes it comes from belief. At the heart of Aro influence was the Ibini Ukpabi oracle, known later by Europeans as the Long Juju. People traveled for days, sometimes weeks, to consult it. Disputes were settled there. Accusations were judged there. Political questions were answered there. In a decentralized society, spiritual authority became political authority. And the Aro became custodians of that authority. But belief alone does not build dominance. Trade does. The Aro established settlements across Igboland and into neighboring regions. These were not colonies in the Roman sense. They were strategic outposts. Each one served a purpose: religious consultation, conflict mediation, trade coordination. This was a network economy long before modern corporations endowed the term. Through these routes, goods moved inland and outward. Palm oil, textiles, agricultural products. And yes, during the height of the transatlantic slave trade, enslaved people. History demands honesty. The Aro did not create the global slave market. European demand drove it. But the Aro, like many regional powers of the time, participated in the system. The 18th century was not guided by modern moral frameworks. It was guided by survival, leverage, and shifting economic realities. And the Aro adapted. Their influence stretched quietly but effectively. No massive standing army, no grand palace dominating the skyline. Just coordination. Then the 19th century shifted the global balance. Britain moved from slave trading to territorial control. Palm oil became essential for industrial machinery. Colonial administration required centralized power, and decentralized networks like the Aro Confederacy stood in the way. To govern efficiently, the British needed uniform and authority. They needed systems they controlled. In 1901, they launched the Aro Expedition. It was framed as a mission to end barbaric practices. In reality, It was a campaign to eliminate competition. British troops marched inland with Maxim guns and organized battalions, advanced weaponry against decentralized defenders. The conflict was brief but decisive. Arochukwu was attacked. The sacred shrine was destroyed. The Confederacy fractured. With that, an indigenous power structure collapsed. Colonial administration tightened its grip over southeastern Nigeria. Indirect rule replaced network governance. But history does not erase influence so easily. The Aro left behind trade routes, diaspora settlements, political memory. They demonstrated something timeless. Power can exist without crowns. Authority can travel through belief. Influence can operate without visible borders. Modern corporations operate the same way. Distributed branches, central narrative control, strategic positioning across territories. The Aro Confederacy was not primitive. It was sophisticated within its context. It functioned inside a globalizing economy. It negotiated power in the only ways available at the time. This story is rarely simple. It is layered, strategic, human. The fall of the Aro Confederacy was not merely a military event. It was a structural transition. An indigenous system replaced by imperial administration. And that shift reshaped the political future of southeastern Nigeria. When we examine pre-colonial Africa, we must move beyond stereotypes. These were not chaotic societies waiting for structure. They had structure. They had diplomacy, economics, judicial systems, spiritual objectives.